Good afternoon. I guess we got that sleepy after lunch thing going. I'm going to start with an announcement that should thrill everybody in the room, which is that I'm not going to make a speech. Because gosh knows there's enough of those coming out of Washington, D.C. No, I'm here on behalf of the CFC Foundation, and just a short commercial, or just at least by word of explanation what the CFC Foundation is. It essentially evolved out of what was the national committee meeting that happened for many years around the table in Washington, with the national federations meeting regularly with OPM to talk about how we could help improve the campaign. And we ended up expanding that to being a conference call that we do with PCFOs, et cetera. So now the CFC Foundation does a couple of different things. First of all, we run this conference, and we do this with the input and help of OPM and with a lot of the people in the room. So as Pam's group is in charge of that, so any feedback on the conference, ways we can improve it, we're certainly interested in hearing. As I said, we also sponsor and monitor the National Committee. That's a group of about 35 or 40 people that get on a conference call from all around the country about once a month with OPM. We talk about common issues. We talk about the conference. It's a good way to have an ongoing dialogue. We were pretty careful to make sure that the National Committee represents a diverse number of PCFOs, LFCCs, large campaigns, small campaigns, East, West, et cetera. So it's a pretty representative group. There are a couple of spots on there, so we're not trying to keep anybody off that call. If you're interested in being on the National Committee, send me or talk to any of the other foundation board members, and we can see about doing that. And I'll mention them in a minute. We also run the cfctoday.org website, which is basically a support site for the campaign. And so, for instance, this year we made available the National Capital Area marketing materials on the website to the rest of the campaign. Foundation paid to make those generic, so they weren't DC centric, so to speak. And we were pleased to distribute those to the campaigns, and a lot of people picked up and used those, which is great because it helped save everybody some money. And they were pretty good materials. We were very proud of the campaign that we did in NCA, and it had a very good response for federal employees. So you'll probably hear more about that in some of the other sessions. The CFC Foundation board is equal representation from both the national federations as well as federal employees. So the board members, and if you're in the audience, feel free to wave or stand up, include Marshall Strauss from the Workplace Giving Alliance, Pam Haberstroh from Community Health Charities, Shelley Hayes from Christian Service Charities / Neighbor to Nation, Vince McConey, Department of Homeland Security, Kim Ainsworth, FEB Boston, Linda Siegel, who's with the CFC campaign, Chesapeake Bay Area CFC, and on the CFC LFC there, and Tony DeCristofaro, who is DOD as the campaign manager for the VCMO at DOD, and is also an LFCC member of the National Capital Area. So it's a darn good group, and my thanks to all of them. The foundation has been, in the past, historically supported by the major federations. Luckily enough, we don't seem to need a lot. We've sort of reduced what we try to do by having one conference instead of two, et cetera. So it's pretty self-sustaining at this point, but I'd be remiss for not thanking Community Health Charities, America's Charities, Global Impact, Earthshare, Community Service Charities, Neighbor to Nation, the Red Cross, and the USO that have traditionally supported the CFC Foundation financially in the past. Most importantly, I really want to thank the subcommittee members, Pam's group. She just talked about the awkwardly named local campaign support and whatever committee, I don't know. This is the committee that really puts on this workshop. So I really want to send a shout out to all the members of that committee: Shelley Hayes, Victoria Adams, Kirk Brown, Sharon Carlson, Tony DeCristofaro, Luann Elliott, Lavina Kim, Curtis Rumbaugh, the wildly popular Curtis Rumbaugh, Tracy Trucker, Laura Walker, Marilyn Wilson, and George Young. Thank you all very, very much for your support. It's actually a fair amount of work goes into this thing, so we really do appreciate their doing it. So, since I'm not doing a speech, I'm going to move right on to the main part of our program. I'm going to introduce a man that may need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Keith Willingham is a member of the Senior Executive Service and serves as the Director of the Combined Federal Campaign at the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. Prior to leading the CFC program, Mr. Willingham served as OPM's Associate Chief Financial Officer, where he managed the nation's largest employer-sponsored benefit programs. As the Associate CFO, Keith managed over $750 billion in pension, health, and life insurance trust fund assets and compiled the agency financial statements. Prior to becoming the Associate CFO, Keith was a Senior Manager at IBM and a Principal Consultant for PricewaterhouseCoopers. He holds a BA in Business Administration and Accounting, is a Certified CPA, a Certified Internal Auditor, and the father of Kayla, and I'm betting we probably see a picture of Kayla at some point. Please welcome Keith.